Post-apocalyptic games have been all the rage as of late, and the craze for titles based around such huge disasters doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon. Instead, the coming months are packed with a ton of promising post-apocalyptic games that are definitely worth keeping an eye out for. To that end, we present 15 upcoming post-apocalyptic games of 2023 and beyond that fans might be interested in. Stalker 2: Heart of Chernobyl. GSC Game World's upcoming Stalker 2 is all about surviving and thriving as a lone wolf in the radiation-infested exclusion zone, all while you try to make your way to the heart of Chernobyl. The open world is full of NPCs to meet and opportunities to pursue, and your decisions have the potential to affect the world and the people around you. Stalker 2 has endured a tough development cycle, complete with all sorts of delays and pushbacks, but the game finally seems to be on track to release this December for PC and Xbox Series. State of Decay 3. Undead Labs is hard at work on the next entry in the State of Decay franchise. And while not a lot is known about the project at the moment, we do know that players will be exploring a frigid environment crawling with all sorts of undead threats, including but not limited to infected animals. The game is still in early development, so it's going to be a while before we get to see the game in action. State of Decay 3 will be released for PC and Xbox Series sometime in the near future. Outbreak Island. Outbreak Island takes place in the mystical world of Earlson Island, and you assume the role of a detective on a mission to uncover the mystery behind the disappearance of the island's population. The gameplay revolves around exploring the island and searching for clues and evidence in hopes of solving this mystery, but the path ahead will be wrought with hostile dangers that must be dealt with as well. It all sounds pretty promising, and Outbreak Island might be worth a look when it releases for PC this year. GHOSTRUNNER 2. Developer One More Level delivered a great rendition of a dystopian future with 2020's Ghostrunner, and the sequel is set to build upon the solid foundations of the original. In addition to a bevy of refinements to the moment-to-moment gameplay, Ghostrunner 2 will also feature exciting new additions like motorcycle levels and better boss fights, among other things. It looks really cool, and we can't wait to dive into this one when it releases for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series. ASHFALL. ASHFALL takes place in a post-apocalyptic future ravaged by the sudden rise of artificial intelligence, and machines are now waging a war against humanity. As the Destined One, it's your job to find the core of creation and put an end to all this mess. The gameplay revolves around exploring the world and fending off waves of enemies in a wide variety of locales. And while it isn't anything particularly special, it definitely looks solid for the most part. ASHFALL will be releasing for consoles and PC sometime in the near future. Road to Vostok. Road to Vostok is all about embarking on a journey across the Russia-Finland border in hopes of reaching a safe haven in Vostok. The developer has stated that the game will feature brutal survival mechanics like realistic shooting and permadeath, among others, and each playthrough will be different from the last thanks to systems like dynamic weather effects, random loot drops, and much more. It's an ambitious project with plenty of potential, and we'll be checking it out when it releases for PC sometime in the near future. PIONER. Built using Unreal Engine 5, PIONER is an impressive first-person MMORPG where you must do everything and anything in your power to survive in this imposing post-apocalyptic world that's brimming with all sorts of monsters and mutants. It definitely carries a ton of Stalker influences on its sleeve, but it also has some of its own tricks like special ammunition for defeating bigger enemies, and of course an ever-evolving narrative thanks to its live service nature. GFA Games' upcoming project showcases a ton of potential, and it's set to release for PC sometime this year. EXEKILLER. EXEKILLER describes itself as a retro-futuristic Western game, and it's perhaps the most fitting description for this one hell of a looker. Set in a post-apocalyptic rendition of a futuristic Wild West, EXEKILLER is all about exploring semi-open environments and looting precious resources as you experience a story that changes depending on the choices that you make. The developer has stated that the game will also have robust character progression systems and multiple playstyles, so it might be worth keeping a look. It will be releasing for PC in 2025. The Front. Samar Studios' The Front is yet another first-person shooter that puts you in charge of saving humanity against a dire threat, against a tyrannical ruler in this case. In addition to all of the first-person combat tropes that one would expect from such a release, The Front will also have base-building mechanics and other sandbox elements that should help distinguish it from the rest of the crowd. It releases for PC sometime in the near future. Armored Core 6. From Software's Armored Core series is making a return with Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon. Set in a post-apocalyptic world ravaged by greed and despair, you take on the role of a warrior sent to the planet of Rubicon, with a mission to obtain control of a new and powerful resource. In addition to improving upon what came before, Armored Core 6 will also be utilizing all of the knowledge accrued from the developer's work on the Souls series, and the results speak for themselves. The gameplay looks absolutely fantastic with a fast-paced combat loop and smooth animations. And there's also a ton of mech customization for those who like to experiment with different builds and loadouts. It releases for PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series sometime in August of 2023. Death Stranding 2. Death Stranding might not have been a runaway success, but countless fans have warmed up to this game following its 2019 release. Death Stranding 2 was unveiled last year, and the sequel looks to be picking up shortly after the first game. You will still be delivering packages and trying to reconnect communities with each other, but this time, Fragile seems to be playing a larger role in the grand scheme of things. Gameplay details are scant at the moment, but the trailer did showcase a new vehicle in the form of a unicycle, so there's that for now. It releases for PlayStation 5 sometime in the near future. Remnant 2. Gunfire Games is rounding up work for Remnant 2, which will once again thrust players into a fantastical world, inhabited by hideous beasts and fierce monstrosities, and you must use everything in your power to banish them for good. Much like the original, you will be using all sorts of melee and ranged weapons to make your way through enemy forces, and an updated progression system allows you to better express yourself through passive bonuses and skills. Remnant 2 releases for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series on July 25th, 2023. Ark 2. Currently in development at Studio Wildcard, Ark 2 will take players into a primal world brimming with all sorts of prehistoric dangers, like dinosaurs and what have you. Ark 2 is an ambitious sequel that will be bringing a host of improvements ranging from better movement mechanics to a refined Souls-like combat system and an epic story starring Vin Diesel. Furthermore, Ark 2 will also feature support for cross-platform play at launch, so it could end up being a fun time with friends as well. It releases for PC and Xbox Series sometime next year. Pacific Drive. Pacific Drive is all about trying to escape the Olympic exclusion zone while avoiding the many horrors that lurk within the woods and surrounding areas. You start out with a simple station wagon, and you need to explore the surrounding areas for fuel and resources to repeatedly upgrade the vehicle in hopes of eventually making your way to the finish line. Pacific Drive definitely sounds interesting, and we'll be checking it out when it releases for PC and PS5 sometime this year. FROSTPUNK 2. 11-Bit Studios' FROSTPUNK was easily one of the best survival city builders of recent memory, and FROSTPUNK 2 will be building on the goodwill of the first game in new and interesting ways. You will once again be thrust into a crumbling steampunk world, and you must manage resources and make smart decisions if you want your civilization to survive and thrive in this imposing environment. FROSTPUNK 2 is still deep in development, and the developer plans to release the game sometime next year for PC. That's all for now. If you enjoy what you saw, please hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, now is a great time to subscribe. We upload brand new videos every single day. After subscribing, don't forget to enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you next time, right here on GamingBolt.